Welcome. This is a product overview of ComplianceForge's annual update subscription for the NIST 800-171 compliance program, the NCP. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what the subscription delivers, how quarterly releases work, and how updates integrate with your customized documentation. The NCP Annual Update Subscription delivers quarterly releases of the NIST 800-171 compliance program. For organizations subject to DFARS, CMMC, or other obligations to demonstrate NIST 800-171 compliance, this subscription is the most cost-effective way to keep the documentation current. As NIST 800-171 evolves, as CMMC guidance matures, and as DoD assessment expectations change, NIST 800-171 has moved through multiple revisions, with Revision 3 published in May of 2024, introducing a restructured control set and updated assessment guidance. And CMMC implementation rules continue to evolve as the DoD rolls out the program. Without subscription updates, an NCP purchased at any point becomes progressively stale relative to the current assessment baseline. The subscription closes that gap with quarterly releases that incorporate the latest NIST 800-171, CMMC, and DFARS guidance. The NCP subscription is a 12-month update subscription service for existing NCP clients. The NCP is updated on approximately a quarterly basis to reflect NIST 800-171 revisions, CMMC guidance updates, DFARS clause changes, and lessons learned from real-world DoD assessments. The subscription entitles the purchaser to 12 months of these updates, including the System Security Plan template, the Plan of Action and Milestones template, and any supporting documentation. Each release also incorporates improvements derived from customer engagements, including refinements based on actual CMMC assessor feedback. To be clear about what it is not, this is not a standalone purchase of the NCP itself, and it does not cover other ComplianceForge products. This subscription delivers updated editable Microsoft Office-based documentation templates on a quarterly cadence. Like the underlying NCP product, there is no software to install, no agent to deploy, no account to provision, and no cloud environment to configure. Every quarterly release delivers updated Word and Excel files, compatible with Word 2016 and newer, Microsoft 365, OpenOffice, LibreOffice, and Google Docs and Sheets. The documentation includes the System Security Plan and the Plan of Action and Milestones templates, plus supporting Excel-based artifacts. Each release is delivered as a secure box link via email. Downloads include an errata describing what changed in that release, with explicit callouts for any NIST 800-171 control changes or CMMC assessment criteria updates. Subscriptions deliver approximately 4 releases per year, timed to reflect significant NIST 800-171 revisions, CMMC guidance updates, DFARS clause changes, and lessons learned from real-world DoD assessments. This delivery model is intentional. NIST 800-171 documentation belongs in your own document control workflow, where DoD assessors and CMMC third-party assessment organizations can review it during assessments. Without an active subscription, organizations face a predictable pattern of documentation drift as the standard evolves, CMMC guidance is published, and assessment expectations shift. There are 4 challenges the subscription is designed to address in the DFARS and CMMC context. The first is NIST 800-171 revision drift. Revision 3 was published in May of 2024 with a restructured control set and updated assessment guidance. Future revisions and supplements are inevitable. Without subscription updates, your NCP drifts from the current baseline that DoD assessors expect. The second is CMMC guidance evolution. Implementation rules and assessment procedures continue to mature as the DoD rolls out the program. The quarterly releases incorporate the latest guidance, so your documentation reflects what assessors are actually evaluating against today. The third is assessment drift. CMMC assessors and DIBCAC assessors expect to see System Security Plan and Plan of Action and Milestones documentation aligned with current control numbering, current assessment criteria, and current DFARS clauses. Documentation from a prior version may cite superseded references. And the fourth is missed improvements. ComplianceForge incorporates improvements from every customer engagement, including refinements based on actual CMMC assessor feedback. The subscription addresses each of those with quarterly releases structured for efficient update application and aligned with the DoD assessment baseline. First, NIST 800-171 alignment. Each release reflects the current baseline, including Revision 3 content and any subsequent supplements or revisions. Your system security plan and plan of action and milestones stay aligned with what assessors evaluate against. Second, CMMC assessment readiness. Each release incorporates current CMMC guidance, NIST 800-171A assessment methodology updates, and lessons from actual third-party assessments. It is designed to be defensible documentation during a CMMC Level 2 certification assessment. Third, a detailed errata per release, identifying every change with explicit callouts for control changes, assessment criteria updates, or DFARS clause changes that affect the documentation. And fourth, a stable document structure. Section numbering, control IDs, and outlines remain stable release to release, except where NIST 800-171 itself restructures, such as the Revision 2 to Revision 3 change. An NCP subscription purchase entitles the subscriber to 12 months of updates from the purchase date. Here is what that includes. The quarterly release files, an updated system security plan template, an updated plan of action and milestones template, supporting Excel-based artifacts, and any new templates added in response to CMMC or NIST 800-171 evolution. The release errata. A detailed errata document accompanies every release, with explicit callouts for control changes, assessment criteria updates, DFARS clause changes, and any other DoD guidance that affects the documentation. Delivery and access. An email notification with a secure box link per release under a single entity license. No account provisioning is required, and prior releases remain accessible throughout the subscription window. And the subscription scope. Approximately 4 quarterly releases, limited to the NCP. If you also own other ComplianceForge products, such as the SCRP, the CSOP, or the CRA, those are updated under their own individual product update processes. ComplianceForge targets approximately 4 releases per year for the NCP. Releases are typically labeled by year and release number. Timing is driven by significant DoD events, NIST 800-171 revisions, CMMC rule updates, DFARS clause changes, assessment methodology updates, and other regulatory changes that affect defense industrial base contractors. Not every quarterly release contains large changes. Some are primarily incremental improvements and clarifications. Larger structural releases are less frequent but deliver significant value when they occur, typically coinciding with major revisions, like the move from Revision 2 to Revision 3, or with CMMC program milestones, such as new rule updates that affect documentation expectations. Each release flows from NIST and DoD events through ComplianceForge content updates, errata documentation, and box delivery within 1 to 2 business days of publication. Subscribers can then apply updates surgically, using the errata as a guide. That preserves your customization while keeping the documentation aligned to the current NIST 800-171 and CMMC baseline. When you customize the NCP, you invested time tailoring the system security plan and the plan of action and milestones to your specific contract environment, your scope boundary, your roles, and your tooling. Quarterly releases are designed to preserve that effort while delivering NIST 800-171 and CMMC currency. Each release ships with a detailed errata document that identifies every change since the prior release, including added, removed, and modified sections, control updates, CMMC guidance refinements, and new supporting templates. Rather than diffing the entire document, you apply changes surgically, using the errata as a guide. And ComplianceForge deliberately avoids structural overhauls between releases, except when NIST 800-171 itself restructures. If you want a hand applying updates or tailoring documentation, ComplianceForge offers optional professional services. They are not required. The 5-hour bundle may be beneficial for companies that need some guidance on getting started. The 10-hour bundle is for companies that need additional guidance on tailoring their documentation to meet their compliance requirements. And the 20-hour bundle is for companies that need robust services beyond just 10 hours. Purchased professional service hours expire 120 days, or 4 months, from the time of purchase if unused. Hours are intended to supplement, not replace, your own customization work. Why does an active subscription matter? For defense industrial base contractors, documentation that drifts from the current baseline is a predictable source of CMMC assessment findings, DIBCAC observations, and DoD contract risk. An active subscription keeps your system security plan and plan of action and milestones aligned with the current baseline and current assessment criteria, without requiring your team to manually track every NIST or DoD publication. For most contractors, the subscription cost is dramatically lower than the internal effort required to research NIST and DoD publications, update the documentation language, and verify alignment with current assessment criteria every quarter, particularly for contractors approaching a CMMC Level 2 certification assessment, where current baseline documentation is critical. Finally, the renewal process. The subscription runs 12 months from the date of purchase, and it does not auto-renew. Toward the end of your window, ComplianceForge will notify you by email with the option to renew for another 12 months. Renewal is optional. If you elect not to renew, you retain rights to all releases you received during the active subscription window. And resubscribing later is always possible. You would resume receiving releases starting from whatever the current release is at that time. One recommendation from the page: contractors approaching a CMMC assessment cycle should typically maintain continuous subscription coverage, so the system security plan and the plan of action and milestones reflect the most current NIST 800-171 baseline. And every release ships with a published errata. The NCP Erratas apply to the NIST 800-171 compliance program and provide a summary of what has changed between each version, so you can review exactly what changed before you apply an update. If you have any questions, please email support@complianceforge.com or call 1-307-241-8740. We've been helping organizations since 2005, and we are always happy to help.